On the thriving businesses side, there's fish ponds, aloe vera plantations, cattle, beekeeping, woodworking, timber, and bananas. But I just want to spend a few minutes on a couple things. That's the pastor school and on the fish ponds. So here's a picture of the conference center. This is the building that had the green roof that we saw from the air a minute ago. And this is actually a pastor's school going on right now. And what we're trying to do there is train pastors to become United Methodist pastors. People will come from all over Central Africa, and they'll walk or ride their bike hundreds of miles. Most of them don't have any cars. But they'll come here to be trained to be pastors. And they'll come for 3 months at a time, then they go back. Next year they come back for another 3 months, and they do that for 8 years in a row. So after 8 years, then they can be qualified to be Methodist pastors. And there's a picture of last year's pastor graduating class. And the next class is starting just in a couple weeks here on May 10th. So what we're trying to do with these guys then, remember they're coming from villages that are out in the sticks. We're equipping these people to go out and preach the gospel in places that we would never want to go to, and we probably couldn't go to, unless we're willing to walk 100 miles or so to get there. And who knows what the conditions are like. And so that's one of the things there, is equipping people to go out and do that and preach the gospel to the Africans. Here's another picture of some of the businesses there. And this is a fish pond, actually, on the left side. On the right, anybody recognize those fish there? They're tilapia. Maybe we'll have some at the restaurant there, right? So one of the things that's happening there is we're teaching the people there how to raise these fish. And basically it provides two things. One is a source of income for them because they can work there, or they can actually get the fish and sell it to their neighbors or give them to the neighbors. And then the second thing is it's providing a great source of protein for them because they love fish, but the problem is that the rivers are all fished out. There's really not enough in there to support them. So there's 4 fish ponds there now, and there'll be about a total of 12 after a little while here. And each one of these fish ponds can produce 3 to 4 harvests of 20 to 25,000 fish at a time. So that is a major source of protein for the Africans. Now there is one other source of protein, which I don't have a picture here, but if you stop by our display in the back, you can see it. The other source of protein is termites. So has anybody ever eaten a termite? Yeah, we haven't either. We may learn. But these things, they're everywhere. They don't build their houses out of wood for one reason is because they'll be eaten by the termites. And they have termite mounds that are probably as tall as that round thing at the top of your screen there. And you can climb up on top of them and see everywhere. So anyway, that's one of the major businesses that's being started there in Kalakumba. Now, the goal, though, of all this work here is no less than the transformation of Central Africa. With the things that are happening there in Kalakumba, as Cassie said, there's 10 to 15 lives being affected just right there with just a handful of missionaries.
10 to 15,000.
What did I say?
10 to 15.
Yeah, multiply that by 1,000 being affected right there. And this model is something that can be picked up and moved to other places. And so our goal then is to do that and take this to other cities, even other countries, and go well beyond Zambia and possibly even here to the United States. So what we believe, though, is that even though it may seem like an impossible dream, with God, this is definitely possible, and we hope to go there and help to make that happen.
Okay, we'd also like to just kind of give you an update since you know the Enrights and the Vances. We wanted to tell you some of the latest on what's going on in their lives. The Enrights in March or April moved into a new house. Previously, they had been living in a house that was on the training center property itself. And from morning until evening, there were people sitting on the porch waiting to talk to John or Kendra, constantly. If there was anything going wrong, they needed to talk to John. If they needed money, they needed to talk to Kendra. But they were there all the time. So by them, they purchased a farm and they built a house across the road. So they are now off the training center proper. And hopefully that will be good for them as a family, but hopefully it will also be good for the Africans because now maybe they will solve some of these questions themselves instead of having them right there to go to for any little thing. Also, the house that they lived in will become the main offices then for the Kalakumba Training Center. This picture has their 2 sons.